Howdy folks. So in this video, we'll see how easily and quickly you can build an app that looks at the social media world and sees what people are saying about you and your products and your services out there. Okay, so essentially it's sentiment analysis, right? So if you're familiar with Microsoft social engagement, that's what it does. One of the things that it does is looks at, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all that other social media channels and sees if people are saying good things about you, bad things about you, neutral, etc. So the exact same thing can be done in Power Apps as well. And this is especially helpful if you don't have social engagement or you find it overwhelming and whatnot. Anyway, so in this app, what we're doing is we are essentially using two things. One is we're using the Twitter connector to bring in all sorts of tweets and seeing what people are saying out there about us or anything for that matter, right? The second thing that we're doing here is we are using Microsoft's cognitive services. Specifically, we're using text analysis, which looks at text and figures out what the sentiment is, and it gives it a score, either a positive score or a negative score. And then it also identifies key phrases that make up the sentiment. Okay, so before we begin, let me show you quickly how you set up the text analysis, which has to be done in the Azure portal. And so if you go into your Azure portal right here, all you have to do is come here, say create resources, and just search for text analysis or text analytics, sorry. And as you can see a brief description here, right? So it gives you three things essentially. One is the sentiment analysis as to what other people are saying or think about your products and services, and then it finds out the key phrases that comprise of that are extracted from that tweet or the post and whatnot, and then it also identifies the language in which it's being said. So from here, you just click the create button, and here you give it a name. You choose a subscription. Now notice that it says it gives you this little red exclamation point because sentiment analysis or text analytics is not available in the global location. So you have to choose one of these available. So if I choose East US, now from here I can pick up any sort of subscription that I'm subscribed to, and then the pricing tier. So just to begin with, you can choose the F0, which is it gives you 5,000 transactions per month for free. If you use it more often, then you can switch to any of the other paid subscriptions as well. But for now, you can just choose F0 and give it a name. And then when you click create, it gives you two things. One, it gives you a key, and the other, it gives you an endpoint URL that you'll use in a connector in Power Apps. All right. So I've already created my API key, so I'm not going to go through it again. But if I go into my Power Apps studio in the web browser, I can look at so if you go into the connections area, you can search for text analytics, which is right here, and I'm already connected. So but just to show you, I can just click plus new connection, and once it loads, it should give me here the ability to search. So here, text analytics, right? And then I click it, and this is where it gives me the option to enter the key and the endpoint URL that were generated by the Azure portal. Okay, so I enter those here, and I click create, and then my connection is created. Similarly, for this app, we will use the Twitter connector as well. So search for Twitter, and it'll ask you for your username, password, and all that if you're doing this for the first time. And once you've entered all of that, you click create, and your Twitter connection is established as well. Okay, now in the app itself, right here, so what we have here is we have two screens. Okay, so one is the tweets screen, where we list all the tweets that we are wanting to look at. Okay, so specifically here, I have a gallery in here which is looking at, it's using the search tweet function for the Twitter connector, and it's looking for the Happy Father's Day 2018 hashtag. Okay, so I've hard coded it in here just for this example, but you can have like any other text box or whatever else, any other mechanism you can use for searching by certain hashtags or keywords and whatnot. Okay, so since yesterday this hashtag was tweeting, I just tried this for just to check it out. Anyway, so this gallery right here is showing me all the tweets for the Happy Father's Day 2018 hashtag. And within the gallery, I have all these labels. So if I go into data sources, and so here I'm looking at who it was tweeted by, and then this is showing me the actual text of the tweet. And then so this is a list of all the tweets, right? Now, if I go into the next screen, which is the tweet detail screen, this is where we are displaying the full tweet description again. And then here's where the text analytics is doing its role. Okay, so we are looking at the language that's being detected, the score that's being generated, and then the key phrases, which are again displayed in a gallery right here. Okay, so and also we have a little smiley icon. It's an image file which is looking at the score being generated. Okay, so and the way I have it programmed is if the score is greater than 80, it's a smiley face. If it's between 50 and 80, it's like a neutral face, which is displayed right here. And if it's less than 40, it's a frowning face. Okay, so that's what's going to determine what gets displayed here, the score. And also, if I look at the in the tweet details screen right here, if I look at the OnVisible function, so what I'm doing here is I have 3 different collections. Okay, so and in each collection we are looking at and we are using the text analytics functions. So the first one is detecting the language, and then the next one is detecting the score, which is right here. And then the third one is detecting the key phrases and displaying them in this gallery right here. Okay, so and then if you look at these labels, so here's what we're saying the language detected is, and then the first value of the language collection. And since it has only one value, which is just the one language, it just displays that. It doesn't have multiple values. And then similarly, we're looking at the score of the sentiment as well and displaying it in this label right here. Okay, so let's just see how it works. So if I go back to my tweets screen, all right, and then I just click play. So now I have a list of all the tweets, right? So if I want to see what the sentiment is like, let's look at this one. This one looks nice. Coolest image I've seen. So here it is. Happy Father's Day. And I open this in the text tweet detail screen, and now you can see that the sentiment score is 90.6, and it also shows what the key phrases are from that tweet, and then it gives me a little like smiley face as well, because it's a good tweet with a positive score. And obviously it's more than 80%. That's why it has a smiley face. Let's look at something else. Let's look at this one. So this one is in a different language. What language is it? We'll find out soon. So this one is Hindi, and the score is 50%. So it's a neutral face. And then it also shows me what are some of the key phrases there. And similarly, let's look at a really bad one. I think it's probably up here somewhere. Okay, this one's 50% too, but we should be able to find one that has, let's look at this. Okay, 50%, but hopefully this gives an idea. So if there's any tweet with a negative sentiment, it will show us a frowny face. Okay, so most of these are pretty neutral. Apparently there aren't any bad ones or any negative ones. This one spot is there were a few yesterday, but I guess they're not listed here anymore. So anyway, so this is the app that gives you sentiment about what people are saying about you out there, about your products and your services, and why would you want this, right? So first of all, this is helpful for people who are on the road. You have staff who are on the road. They're probably going to people's houses and fixing things, and repairing things or installing new things, right? So in those circumstances, you might just want to know the person whose house you're going to, what kind of things they're saying about your product. If they're saying good things, then you could probably have a discussion about it, right? Or maybe give them some additional discount, or just it may be it may help with the conversation as well. And similarly, you can collect all these scores and tweets, and just to understand this person's ideas and interests and whatnot. Maybe you can upsell or cross sell looking at the tweets as well, right? So if, for example, I am tweeting about, hey, I want to buy this new stereo or something, and if someone from a big electronics equipment company comes to my house to install a fridge, let's say, then they may look at my tweet about the stereo and they say, hey, guess what, we have this new stereo coming up, we'll have it in our store in the next 3 days, would you want more information about it, and things like that, right? So just essentially it can help in creating a rapport with your customers, and just understanding them more, knowing them better. And as you can see, it's just a bunch of one-line formulas, right? So there are a few things that you have to do to set this up, but essentially just 3 or 4 formulas and your app is up and running. If you want more information, let me know. Post your questions in the comments. Otherwise, I hope you found this helpful. Thank you for watching.